undisputed glory on the line. Once in a lifetime, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Terrence "Bud" Crawford and
He's a great fighter, like I say, he's not Canelo. Obviously, I'm been in this situation for a long time, and I have the experience. They only focus on my power, but I have more than that. Don't worry about it. He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. I think this fight is gonna be in the books of the history of boxing for sure. That's for sure.
For sure, them belts coming with me. They coming home with me. I'm telling you right now.
You can see it, but
it's gonna
be difficult. You take it to your home.
I'm taking them. And ain't nothing you're going to be able to do about it come fight
and
night.
I know Turki is in your corner,
I promise you.
But look, it's going to be very difficult. He's going to be so mad that day. Believe me.
I see you. I see you. You see I'm different.
I see you too.
You see I'm different than all the other ones.
No, I see you. No, you don't know different. You're nothing different.
I'm different.
Nothing different.
I'm different.
We'll see.
You're going to see.
We'll
you know
see.
it.
We'll see.
Let's dive into that press conference. The tension escalated right from the start. What began as mutual respect quickly turned into pointed remarks and a real battle of egos. Canelo didn't hold back, confidently declaring that Crawford can't beat him, while Crawford calmly shot back that he's bringing those belts home, no matter what Canelo does. Their stare down was icy and intense. This wasn't your average pre-fight hype. These are two fighters who truly believe they're about to make boxing history.
Well, listen, I called Canelo out because, like I said, he the last great fighter amongst the era that surpassed us. You know, the Floyd, the Pacquiao, the De La Hoya. We both came up in that era, and he was right there with those fighters, and he got.
Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford. This is the kind of fight fans have been waiting for. Raw power against technical brilliance. Experience against pure skill. Let's check out what the experts are saying about this clash.
I think Bud gonna cook Canelo. I think he's gonna cook him. I think, Canelo a hell of a fighter, but I think Bud just got all the tools to beat him.
You don't think the weight difference?
Think about Terrence Crawford calling out Canelo.
I don't like that fight.
Why not?
I don't like that fight. It's just too much weight, and he had a close fight with the last guy he fought, Terrence, because this guy was big and he was awkward. He was really awkward. He shouldn't have fought that guy. He should have fought a guy that was just come straight at him. The guy was too awkward.
He's herky-jerky.
Dora, one of them.
Yeah.
See, there's it's a missing art.
You know what? I think my initial reaction would be to say that I think that Crawford would be the superior boxer, as great as Canelo is, as seasoned as he is, with 65 fights, if I recall, on his record. He's phenomenal. But Crawford is something special. I think that he's a better pure boxer. I think boxing-wise, he's going to give Canelo.
With the boxing world buzzing with predictions and takes, Eddie Hearn's insights always stand out, and he's weighed in with some strong opinions. Eddie Hearn has typically sided with Canelo Alvarez, especially given their long partnership, but even he admits that Terrence Crawford's confidence is on another level. After spending time with Crawford in Riyadh, Eddie noticed a self-assurance that's hard to ignore. It's contagious. Crawford is convinced he'll win, and that belief has even made Hearn reconsider. While Eddie still wants Canelo to win win and thinks he can. Right now, he's slightly favoring Crawford. And
Still favoring Crawford in the fight, or has your opinion changed?
No, I mean, I've always favoured Canelo in the fight.
Well, I've heard that you want Canelo to win, but you feel...
Of course, yeah. I like Terence. But I've worked a lot with Canelo, and I think just because of what I saw in Riyadh and because of the threat, and he's getting on as well, Crawford, but it's just like the mindset of Crawford. Like, there's no doubt in Terence Crawford's mind that he wins this fight. And when you spend a bit of time with him, you kind of start buying into that. And I guess that's what happened in Riyadh, because I travelled with him to the fight, and, but it's a 50-50 fight. I think gun to head, I'm probably picking Crawford.
Eddie says the real challenge in this fight is Crawford's awkward, unpredictable style. He's a master at switching stances, moving smart, and fighting off the back foot. Eddie thinks Crawford will use a game plan similar to what Bivol used. Lots of movement, smart attacks, and never letting Canelo settle in. Crawford might push the pace more than Bivol, but the strategy will be familiar.
Right now, but I want Canelo to win. I know he can win for sure, but Terence is going to make it really tricky and awkward for him, and I don't think he's going to like that kind of fight.
When you say tricky and awkward with switching stances, like, what do you mean by that?
Fighting off the back foot.
Yeah.
A lot of, I mean, he'll engage a lot more than Skull, but he will be looking to do all the things where people have had success, which is use movement. Look at what Bivol did. Bivol had the perfect game plan. He boxed off the back foot, then he attacked, then he moved, then he, all that kind of stuff. I think Crawford will be looking to do exactly the same.
If Terence, well, one, do you think if Canelo loses, it hurts anything to his legacy?
No, Canelo's an all-time great.
Even if Canelo doesn't get the win, Hearn believes his legacy is safe. Canelo's already cemented as an all-time great, and stepping up to fight someone who started at a much lighter weight is both a massive risk and a huge payday, one he was never going to say no to.
He's an incredible fighter, and look, I actually think this is a bad fight for him, because you're losing to a 147, obviously 154 now, but the money's the money, and he was never going to turn it down.
After Hearn's viewpoint, another respected boxing analyst, Teddy Atlas, gave his own detailed take. Teddy highlights how some fans began doubting Crawford after his performance against Matamor, where he didn't dominate as expected. But Teddy doesn't blame Crawford. He sees it as a sign of the high standards set for him. Crawford still adapted and got the win, and Teddy expects him to do the same against Canelo. For Atlas, it's not just about size or weight, it's about how Crawford finds solutions others can't.
That question. Yeah. And that's great. That is tremendous. And you can make arguments both sides. Well, Canelo's too big. He's too big, and, Crawford, as good as he is, he stepped up with Matrimorph, and he struggled a little bit. He won, but it was more competitive than we thought. Well, we didn't understand how good Matrimorph was, because we underestimated him, because he only had 10 pro fights, but he had 300 amateur fights. He was a good, solid fighter. Absolutely was. Right? And he's on this card, of course. But he was a good, solid fighter. We didn't understand that. So we started to knock down Crawford a little bit, because our expectations were so high. And that's wrong. That's wrong. He won. He changed gears. He did what he had to do when he realized the level of this guy in front of him, and he got the win. But
for Teddy, Crawford's speed and adaptability are his biggest weapons. When people say Canelo is too strong or too big, Atlas flips it. Crawford is faster, more creative, and has more tools at his disposal. He draws a parallel to when Pacquiao faced De La Hoya. Everyone thought Oscar's size would be too much, but Manny's speed changed everything. Teddy thinks this fight could play out the same way.
You reverse who's got the advantage and the disadvantage. Yeah, the size, the power of Canelo, he's got the advantage. Then all of a sudden you go back and you say, wait a minute. The other guy's faster. The other guy's craftier. The other guy has more options. The other guy is slicker. Oh, well, maybe he's got the advantages. Like the first time Pacquiao fought De La Hoya. And I know De La Hoya was having trouble with weight and all that. I get it, and that's fair. But still, I remember I picked that one. Every once in a while I pick one right. I remember that I picked that one where Pacquiao's going to win. And I said, yeah, you're saying that De La Hoya's big, he's strong, he's got the power edge, he's got this edge, but the other guy's quicker. And that's going to be an edge. And it was.
Despite Canelo's impressive record and history against top fighters, Teddy sees something special in Crawford. He believes Crawford's instincts, his split-second reactions, and ability to read the fight are what set him apart. These are natural gifts that can't be taught, and Atlas thinks they could be the deciding factor here.
But I'm one of the people that thinks Crawford is very, very special. I'm not saying Canelo's not, but I think he's special in a different way, where he's got instincts that not everyone has. Yeah. That it's the timing, it's the instinctual things, the X factors, the intangibles that he has. And I think they're going to show themselves. I really do.
Ultimately, Teddy's pick is clear. He believes Crawford's unique skills give him a real shot at beating a bigger opponent like Canelo. He's excited for this matchup because it's not just a fight, it's the classic David versus Goliath story. And Teddy believes Crawford has what it takes to win it.
And I can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait to see a smaller guy use those intangibles, use those X factors to beat a bigger guy. I always wanted to see David and Goliath live. Yeah. Didn't you?
Of course, absolutely. I would as well.
Okay, well, get ready to watch it.
Yeah, I can't wait as well.
After hearing Hearn's shifting loyalty and Atlas's praise for Crawford's instincts, Joe Rogan gave his own no-nonsense take. Rooted in deep fight knowledge and respect for skill, he didn't focus on resumes. His attention was on the real question: can Crawford handle Canelo's size and power? Joe immediately admitted his main concern: is Crawford big enough to deal with Canelo's power? That's where the fight could change. He respects Canelo's strength and knows how dangerous he is when he's pressing forward. Rogan thinks if Crawford can't keep Canelo at bay, it could be a rough night.
Clean.
I think I was there.
You might have been there.
Yeah, man. We had some good ass fights this year. And now Crawford's about to fight.
Yes, he's gonna fight Canelo.
Oh man.
I just hope he's big enough. I hope he's big enough to keep that dude off him, because Canelo hits so.
Still, he has no doubts about Crawford's talent. Rogan said he fully believes in everything Crawford says about himself. In a sport full of hype, Joe sees Crawford as the real deal. The way he dismantled Errol Spence wasn't about Spence's injuries. Joe believes Crawford would have done that to him at any time.
Hard, man.
That's one dude that, like, I believe all the shit he be talking.
Crawford? Yeah. Oh, he's good.
He don't just be saying shit.
They tried to say that, like, Errol Spence was damaged because of what Crawford did to him, because he was damaged from the car accident. I'm like, maybe. Or maybe Crawford would have done that 3 years ago.
Joe praised Crawford's smooth, versatile style, calling him one of the best switch hitters in boxing. Whether orthodox or southpaw, Crawford can change things mid-fight and throw off his opponent's rhythm. Rogan loves how Crawford can adjust not just his stance, but his whole approach on the fly. That flexibility, he says, gives Crawford a real edge.
I think he's that good. He's just so skillful. He's so slick. And when he gets, and he's also the best guy in the sport at switch hitting. He'll go from southpaw to orthodox and be just as good and trip you up. Like, you think he's going to start southpaw, he starts orthodox. You prepare for orthodox, he's fighting southpaw. He feels like he's got you timed better.
He also talked about Crawford's mastery of distance and positioning. Joe values fighters who know how to throw and evade punches, and he sees Crawford as a ring artist, someone who makes even complex tactics look easy.
Orthodox, he'll switch it up. You know,
super accurate.
Oh, like, just knows so much about boxing, about where to be and what's coming, and
he's a strategist that's also entertaining.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Joe's bottom line: if Crawford can manage the size and power gap, his skills are more than enough to win. He sees the fight as a contest of toughness versus technique, size versus strategy, and while he has concerns, he thinks Crawford has what it takes to pull off the upset.
He's like,
an artist.
Like, remember, like a young B-Hop?
Yes.
It was like just so sharp and made it look almost entertaining. You know what I mean?
Roy Jones in his prime. It was art. You were watching art. He's piecing up people. It was an art.
After Joe Rogan's technical breakdown and respect for Crawford's abilities, Jim Lampley added his veteran perspective. Lampley considers Canelo one of the smartest fighters in the sport. He credits Canelo's ability to learn from legends like Mayweather, not just in the ring, but also in managing his career. Lampley says Canelo still knows how to deliver action when it's needed, but his foundation is counterpunching and defensive skills. He's not reckless. He waits, picks his moments, and lands with precision.
Canelo's smart. Absolutely, he's smart. He knows this business as well as anybody. So no, it's not surprising that Canelo learned from Floyd. and has employed some of that in the retention of his career. Canelo still knows how to make fireworks when he absolutely has to make fireworks. But at the end of the day,
what really stands out for Lampley is Canelo's toughness. He points out that nobody has truly knocked Canelo down. Even the one official knockdown wasn't clean. It happened when he bounced off the ropes, and the ref called it. Lampley highlights Canelo's physical strength, especially his legs, saying his base is stronger than anyone else's.
Counterpuncher. He's a great defender. He has the most solid punch resistance of anybody in the sport. Nobody's ever knocked him off balance. Nobody's ever really knocked him down. There's only one official knockdown in his career, and it was because he bounced off the ropes when Jose Cotto hit him with a hard shot to the chest. And the referee employed a strict interpretation of the rules and said, oh, the ropes held you up, so that's a knockdown. He's never been put on his back by anybody. He rides horseback every morning. His legs are the strongest in the sport.
Lampley believes that the only person who can truly beat Canelo is Canelo himself. If he ever loses the discipline that made him a star, if he gets tired of the grind and the pressure, then he could be vulnerable. But until that day, Lampley doesn't see anyone getting the better of him, not even Crawford.
You're not going to beat Canelo until somehow over a long period of time, Canelo beats himself. If he gets tired of all the discipline he has had to employ to make all the money he's made, if he has enough giant ranches in the Yucatan, if he has enough beautiful horses, if he has had enough unforgettable dinners with Mexican billionaires in Mexico City and Vegas, then maybe. But my guess is he will retire without incurring another loss, because it's important to him to do that.
Still, Lampley is quick to say that Crawford is a rare breed. He compares him to Sugar Ray Robinson, not just for style, but for being the total package: defense, offense, timing, and a hidden mean streak that comes out when needed. That edge lets Crawford seize control of a fight whenever he wants.
Now, I could change my mind when we get closer. Bud Crawford, to me, is a latter-day Sugar Ray Robinson. He has the multiple skills of Sugar Ray Robinson. He can defend or attack. He has a deep inner mean streak that he can employ at any moment in a fight to get what he wants.
When Daniel Cormier gave his take, he didn't offer a flat-out prediction, but he dropped enough hints about where he stands. He showed respect for both Canelo and Crawford, calling them two of the best of their era, but when he broke down the weight difference and recent performances, he seemed to lean slightly toward Canelo.
They should have fought. By the time Terence Crawford and Canelo fight, Bud will be 36, Canelo will be 34 years old. Now, I'm not saying those guys are done. By no means. They're still the two best boxers in the world. But imagine if we got those guys in their late 20s, right? Or 3 to 4 years ago. It is still going to be a monster. I don't imagine it's going to be anything less than super successful. But should it have happened a couple years ago?
Cormier explained that Crawford will be moving up to 168 pounds, a division he's never fought in, while Canelo has not only fought at 168, but even gone up to 175 before. That experience at higher weights is huge, and Cormier emphasized this point repeatedly. It's not just about muscle, it's about how carrying that extra weight affects your performance. He noted that Canelo might not be as sharp as he was at lower weights, but he still holds the size and strength edge.
Oh, sorry. They're going to fight at 168. Yes. Canelo's been fighting up at like 175. Crawford going up from 154 to fight him at 168. They're not over the hill at all. These are phenomenal fighters. They're both still in their prime. Most UFC champions aren't even under 30. I don't know that we have one under 30 male champion right now. So they're in their athletic prime. Right.
Even as he praised Crawford's record, 41 wins, 31 knockouts, and titles in 4 divisions, Cormier was cautious about how that greatness would translate at super middleweight. He talked about Crawford's motivation, how seriously he's taking this fight, and how much it means to him, but he couldn't ignore that Crawford is stepping in with a man who's already proven himself at these heavier weights.
They're still in their athletic prime. I wish I got to see it a couple years ago when Canelo was a little smaller. I thought Canelo has gotten, he's not as good as he was when he was fighting at 154, 160, because he's a little bigger, carrying more muscle, but I think it's going to be a blockbuster event. Going to be one of the biggest pay-per-views we've ever seen. Going to be highly competitive. And I do believe that that added element that Dana's going to be promoting, that Riyadh season is going to be promoting, is going to make more people tap in to what's going on in this big fight. They're going to sell out Allegiant Stadium. I'm going to be there front row. I'm not missing this. Terrence Crawford is a great guy. His sons are tremendous wrestlers, boxers. They do everything. I know Terrence from the wrestling. I know how motivated he is to fight this fight. I know that Canelo Alvarez is as good as anyone we've seen in a long time. True legend of boxing. It's a massive.
The predictions are already flying, but what about yours? Is Canelo going to remind everyone why he's been king for so long? Or is Bud about to shake up history? Drop your prediction in the comments below.